Imagine the power trip of the elite. They know what the real technologies are. They know what's really going on. While we're down here talking about Hollywood squares and the NFL, not even knowing the three branches of the transparent government. We're going to see Hoagland. We're having back up for 2 hours in the near future to really get into all the wild evidence he's got. I mean, NASA now basically has admitted they put red filters over the atmosphere to make it look red. They admit now the sky's blue. They found ice all over Mars. I mean, that's the admitted stuff is amazing. Why would they cover that up in the past and say, oh, we put a red filter on to make the contrast better for you, to play along with that? But imagine being members of the elite. They get to fight and jostle and always try to get to the next level of the pyramid, to find out more, to be explorers. It's the ultimate greediness by these people to wall off the general world from true knowledge. I mean, I want to teach people things. I want to learn things. I want to show people things. I guess they love hoarding all the secret knowledge because it gives them the power, but that's what Ray Kurzweil and all these futurists say. And then transhumanists, they say that they get to be the future, and basically we don't, because the elite's going to go forward into the future and the population isn't. We're going to be reduced down to nothing, the useless eaters. But big picture, Richard C. Hoagland.
Well, obviously this has been on my mind from the beginning when I started putting the dots together and realized there were two separate realities, actually more than two, but, two will basically, suffice for now. And I've been trying to back-engineer what's the end game, what's the big picture. Well, one big picture is that the human race is much older and more extraordinary, astounding, astonishing than anyone has ever been allowed to believe, certainly in modern times. If you go to ancient texts, ancient wisdom, ancient documents, ancient sacred writings, you find ample evidence that the human race is millions and millions and millions of years old, and that we used to have an incredibly fabulous high-tech civilization that allowed human beings to live like gods. And then something happened. The fall, as we term it in the Western idiom, Genesis. And now we're basically living almost at a sustenance level. We're being told now that we have to, in the face of extraordinary physical crises, of energy, the lifeblood of civilization, without which everybody becomes poor or dead quickly, we're told we have to drill for something which is ridiculous and primitive as oil.
When they have plenty of advanced technologies, they've admitted...
there's incredible advanced technology. So the end game, one of the end games, is if you control people's sustenance, if you control the energy in which they live, the resources which they utilize, and the information under which they operate, you control them totally. So one of the games is
and that's
control.
it. We're inside a bottle. We're inside a matrix, not an electronic matrix, but garbage being fed into our cerebral cortexes. And well, listen, I have to tell you, that's what all this fits into. And that's what my instincts and all of my larger knowledge tells me, is that if you look at humans, we don't act or behave like anything we see Terran. To say we're connected to monkeys and chimpanzees and all the rest of it's a total joke. And then you do look at Mars and all the legends and the rest of it. It isn't Martians, folks. It's us. I mean, is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Now, you have titled one of your websites prisonplanet.com. I always thought to myself, what did Alex figure out that he realizes?
No, that's it. We're in a false reality. I just don't know what it is. I know they're building camps. I know they're poisoning us, dumbing us down, genetic engineering us down. That's all admitted. And I'm trying to branch out now and at least get people thinking about the next level, because all my instincts tell me there's just unbelievable, fabulous things being hidden from us.
Okay, number two, if you get that they're keeping all the good stuff for themselves, the reason is that if we got access to the good stuff, if we got access to the technologies, the energy, we wouldn't be worried about $4, $5 a gallon gas or $10 a gallon gas. We would live like people are supposed to live, all 6 billion of us who could live lightly on the earth, Alex, with this technology.
And live longer.
Absolutely, and better, and, you could live to 200-300 and have the virility of your 20s and 30s. There's extraordinary medical breakthroughs. There's extraordinary physics breakthroughs, technology breakthroughs, energy. It's all been kept away because They are supposed to have it, and we're not. So where's that dichotomy come from?
And by the way, folks, don't roll your eyes at all this. We know they're lying and suppressing. We're just trying to find out what it is. Think about it. We're already on a planet hurtling through space, all these wonders around you, and you've been taught it's bizarre to question. And that's because there's so many kooks in the alternative movement who do talk about ridiculous, Hollywood-style green men instead of really looking at the shadow government and all these crazy secret societies that are admittedly running NASA and the shadow government. Okay.
The lie is different at every level.
The lie is different at every level, and we're trying to expand that and break through those different levels. Well, I agree with you. When you've got the Catholic Church saying we need to love the aliens, they're our brothers, when you've got every major denomination saying it, when you've got all the movies and you've got, in the 80s, huge programs at the Olympics with aliens landing, fake aliens, and you've got huge things the size of 3 football fields floating over Dallas and stuff all over the place. Something's going on. And then I read government documents about fake extraterrestrial landings. Any of this. Why? You believe it's fake.
Remember Operation Northwoods?
Yes.
Okay. Or we can go to the, September 11th. Governments do huge, big things to sway populations at key nodal points in history.
They love hoaxes.
Yeah, well, it's manufactured history is what it is. I believe we're building toward a mass, carefully manufactured fake event where ETs, who are really humans, who are really part of this secret clique, who are probably Nazis, who have developed and perfected their technology from World War II, which is why you've got to get, Joseph on. They are going to basically fake out the world.
Well, now that's been declassified. The Nazis already had A-bombs. They call them radiation weapons. They already had broken the sound barrier.
This is Farrell's research. And the reason he's got access to this documentation is that when East and West Germany reunited after the wall fell, a huge number of documents from the Polish Secret Service came out. And in German, of course, which they had purloined and taken back after World War II as part of their spoils from the war. They have been declassified. And there's an incredible window on the Nazi black ops programs, the compartmentalized, incredible high-technology efforts that were being funded by the Nazi war machine, particularly toward the end of the war, in a desperate effort to win the war, and they fastened their hopes on several key technologies, some of which appear to be the control of gravity itself, which again is a separate piece of data from my work, which came at this from a hyperdimensional physics perspective.
We know there's a lot of suppressed technology. 20 years after the B-2 bomber was already in service, they declassify it. So we have a lot of cases of that. We know there's a whole shadow government. This
is technology in physics, Alex, that would make anything you think you know like a candle flame compared to a hydrogen bomb. This is a physics that literally allows you to rearrange time.
Well, here's an example. 3 years ago, the Air Force general had a press conference. San Francisco Chronicle picked it up. Then they came out and said, forget that information, and admitted they have antimatter weapons. Is that the type of... Yeah.
Those pale beside what I'm talking about, which is torsion field physics, which is another whole program.
Yeah, well, final segment with Richard C. Hoagland. When we come back, I want to talk about what we know about this giant shadow reality. Imagine the elites. They get to know the reality, know what's going on. We're down here caring about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt and what they're trying to build, what their end game is.